We're gonna call this meeting to order. Our purpose today is to discuss legal ramifications, legal options, pending litigation or controversies not yet being litigated, but imminently likely to be litigated regarding the sale of the land of Maverik. And we're gonna do part of this in executive session, I understand, and then we'll come out and discuss the rest. That being said, can I have a motion from one of you to go into executive session?
Okay, a motion to go into an executive session under Idaho Code 742061F to communicate with legal counsel for the public agency to discuss the ramifications and legal option for pending litigation or controversies not yet being litigated but imminently likely to be litigated in Maverik.
I will second that motion.
Okay, we need a roll call.
Commissioner Cassidy? Here. Commissioner Dose?
Yes.
Commissioner Zimmerman?
Here.
Okay, so that being said, folks, we're gonna go into executive session here for a bit.
You know what, maybe turn this way.
All right.
Go
We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna come back out of executive session now, the public session. And we have a couple of, we need to decide if we're gonna take some action on what, based on our discussions. For the public, we did receive notice from the folks buying the land in Smelterville from Maverik that they now had an interest in leasing. We need to take a vote on what we think about the leasing option and of leasing it versus selling it. And then we can move on from there and do that. So any comments about that?
No.
No.
Okay. Am I headed the right direction?
In the right direction.
All right.
Well, what the discussion is there is potential problems with leasing it that we know, and that, you know, we need to make a decision on whether we want to go forward with the lease or not. So there's potential legal battles that we could have if we do go for a lease. So.
Okay. So do we have a motion by anybody on how you'd like to proceed with it?
I would like to make a motion to have our legal counsel address the issue and that we stay towards the sale of the property.
So that we would decline the offer,
Of
but
the lease.
see what, and let legal counsel do an analysis and work with it.
Yes.
Does that make sense to you?
Satisfactory to me.
I'll
Okay.
second the motion.
That's seconded. All right, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, that carries unanimously then that we will decline the offer for a lease at this time. But we're gonna let Ben do a legal analysis and respond to Maverik on our behalf. Okay? While we're on that subject, related to that, do you wanna discuss the railroad property purchase that was tied into this thing? Do you have any further discussion on the Maverik property?
No, not really.
I don't have any discussion
Okay,
at this time.
all right. Any questions or guidance from you at this point?
Not from legal.
Okay, then I will open it up to the public for, remember, 2 minutes if you wanna make comments or you have a question, and we will do our best to answer what we can. Obviously, we're in a learning process ourselves. Start over here. Do you have any comment or question?
All right.
Okay, Mr. Avery.
Does Maverik not want to buy it now?
I don't think that's a fair statement. I think they have breached the conversation of would we consider alternatives,
Oh, okay.
like
Yeah.
leasing.
Okay.
I don't know that we don't think they'll buy it, but they did change the game a little bit with that request.
Since the game has been changed, then it would almost seem like it would almost need to go out on a bid again.
Well,
Well-
it's not, they basically said, would you consider this?
Okay.
But we are still considering, we still wanna purchase
I
the
see.
property,
Okay.
basically. is what
So
we-
that deal's not a done thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
we still have that option.
I see.
Okay? Any questions?
So does that mean that they want to have a choice between leasing the land as opposed to building on the property? Is that what that means?
That's indicates That's what that would mean, or they would lease the land and then,
If the public would like to see the inquiry that Maverik's made, they can submit a public records request for that communication and see the dialogue that the county's received.
But basically, I think, yeah, the option is, they're still up for buying it, but they have, the discussion has been initiated on would we consider a lease? And I think the board has said that we'd rather not. And we've asked our legal counsel to dig into that for us and
Yes,
see
that
where
was
we
the
stand.
only part I did understand, that you voted.
Yeah, so why they would
Not
do
to.
that or that, don't know. But thank you. Any other questions or comments from the public?
I got a comment. This whole Maverik deal's been messed up from the very beginning. It was supposed to be a public hearing, it turned into a public auction, it was supposed to be sold as is, and the past commissioners had allowed terms to be put on it, which never should have happened. It's as is. It's just like a tax deed sale that comes up in July. There's no term set on those, it's buyer beware. That's the way this should have went down, and it never, the seller having to take it off the market, or selling it to Bemis, and then having to go take it off away from Bemis in a meeting that wasn't even scheduled, and then, what a mess. The railroad property, I really hope that you guys have read the conditions that are put on this. I don't wanna see you spend any more money on it if you can't build a jail on it. And that would have been something I would have thought the legal or the past commissioners would have, called EPA or DEQ and found out before we put $20,000 down on it. But, no, there was one last thing, but I think I forgot. Just one second. Oh, and to give you notice too, the past commissioners have also put you guys into the bind of telling the Wallace City Council that if they will, annex that property in, the county will plow all that for them. So, that was done with 2 commissioners over at the city council. Thank you.
Appreciate your thoughts on that. All right, any further comments from the board? All right, I'm going to adjourn this meeting. And we are as far as we can go today on this one. And I imagine you have other meetings.
It was a nice one. Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
Thanks.
Appreciate
Thank you
it.
for the help.